So, Jim, yesterday, President Biden was asked about the possibility of a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas and the chances of that happening. Take a listen to what he said.
President Biden, did you all have a chance to discuss a possible ceasefire?
Yes.
Are you confident it's going to be done soon, sir?
No. I haven't lost hope, but it's going to be tough.
He said no. And Jim, one of the reasons he might not be certain that a ceasefire deal will happen anytime soon is because the military leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, recently said that civilian deaths in Gaza are a necessary sacrifice and could ultimately benefit Hamas in the end. So how do you negotiate a ceasefire deal with a group whose mentality is that?
I think it's nice to hear Biden actually acknowledging the fact that a ceasefire is not going to happen rather than trying to jam it down Israel's throat. And anyone who knows Hamas knows that they use their civilians as pawns in this war, really as sacrificial lambs. They prefer to have these deaths because it causes a media frenzy and it puts pressure from the so-called international community on Israel to stop the operations. The only way civilians in Gaza and in the rest of the Palestinian controlled areas will ever have peace is for Israel to defeat Hamas and probably do something about the West Bank that puts people who are not in from the river to the sea mentality, in that, rejectionist of Israel's existence mentality, in charge of those areas. And that requires, though, a military victory by Israel and acknowledgement of that by the Palestinians. That's what needs to happen to make this better.
Back here in the homeland, a suspected jihadist in New York City caught just blocks from LaGuardia Airport. This just after 8 ISIS-linked terror suspects were arrested in a nationwide sting. Jim, is a major terror attack on U.S. soil all but inevitable at this point?
We've been whistling past the graveyard for a long time. America does not have good internal security because we've always been protected. We're one collection of giant soft targets if people can, from the inside or getting into the interior of our country, be prepared to make an attack. I wish maybe this crazy idea of using our border as a barrier, as a place to stop people from coming in, rather than letting anybody who can manage to walk to the southern border in, and then, oh, wait a minute, maybe these are bad guys, we should try and find them now. So they're now looking for these ISIS-connected individuals all across the country when we already let them in. It's time to consider the fact that we are under threat, and having an open southern border and allowing these Hamas mobs to travel around the country and rile people up is not the greatest idea.